Lemnos isn't just another Greek island for me. It's the island where my grandparents lived and where I spent nearly every summer growing up. Hi, I'm Chrysula, a local travel creator, and in this video I'm going to show you the best things to do in this authentic island in the Aegean. Let's dive in. Your journey on Lemnos begins in Myrina, the island's capital, and a place that perfectly blends history, charm, and everyday island life. Myrina wraps around two bays, one with a traditional fishing harbor and the other with a long sandy beach lined with cafes and tavernas. You can spend the day here wandering the narrow alleys, watching fishermen repair their nets, or sipping a freddo by the sea. Above it all towers the Venetian castle of Myrina, built in the 13th century. The climb to the top is easy and absolutely worth it. The views are breathtaking, especially at sunset, and don't be surprised if you spot wild deer roaming freely among the ruins. Yes, actual deer just walking around the fortress. Finally, don't forget to visit the recently renovated Archaeological Museum of Lemnos, right in the heart of Myrina. It's compact but beautifully curated, with impressive finds from Polyochni, Iphistia, and daily life on the island through the ages. Once you have explored Myrina's charming streets and climbed up to the castle, it's time to head out and discover the coastline. Some of my best summer memories were made on these beaches, swimming, exploring, and spending entire days under the sun. Let's go beach hopping and I will show you some of my absolute favorites. Let's start with the more popular ones. Thanos Beach is lively and beautiful, with crystal clear waters, soft sand and beach bars that play music into the afternoon. Evgatis is a family favorite with calm and shallow waters. And just a short drive from Myrina, Agios Ioannis is a relaxed, west-facing beach, ideal for long swims and golden sunsets. You will also find some charming places to stay right above the beach and a few seaside tavernas for sunset dinners. Now let's head east, near Moudros, where the beaches feel wilder and more cinematic. Fanaraki and Mikro Fanaraki are two of my personal favorites. Small, sheltered, with smooth rock formations and incredibly clear waters. Close by is Havuli Beach, more open and dramatic, with reddish cliffs and a raw natural beauty. Saravari, despite being on the quieter side of the island, is an organized beach with sunbeds, a relaxed beach bar, and great food options nearby. And finally, if you're up for something truly remote, there is Neftina, untouched, peaceful, and completely unorganized. Just soft sand, blue sea, and silence. For water sports, head to Keros Beach. This is one of Greece's top spots for windsurfing and kite surfing, thanks to its steady winds and flat, shallow waters. And just when you think you've seen all of Lemnos coastline, the island surprises you again. Tucked away behind one of the quietest beaches, there is something completely unexpected. A little size of the Sahara, right here in the Aegean, the Amothines or sand dunes of Lemnos. Near Gomati Beach, these rolling golden hills stretch across the horizon like a miniature desert. The sand is soft and warm, shaped by the wind over centuries. When you walk here, it honestly feels like you've left the Aegean behind and landed somewhere in North Africa. It's one of the very few true dune landscapes in Europe, and definitely one of the most photogenic spots on the island. And after exploring the dunes, head down to Gomati Beach for a refreshing swim. It's wide, peaceful, and almost always quiet. Right there, overlooking the beach, you will also find my favorite taverna on the whole island, Flomari. It's simple, local, and the food is amazing. Fresh fish, traditional recipes, and one of the best places to sit back, eat slowly, and enjoy the view of the sea. Not far from the sand dunes, hidden in the hills above the village of Propuli, you will find a truly unexpected sight, the Faraklo lava formations. These strange wave-like rocks were formed millions of years ago by volcanic activity, and today they look like something from another planet. Rounded, layered and smooth, they almost seem man-made, but they are 100% nature's work. It's a quick stop, but if you love unusual landscapes or photography, it's worth the detour. From strange, otherworldly rock formations to a place of deep silence and stillness, Lemnos has a way of constantly shifting around you. Let's head to one of the most peaceful and unexpected spots on the island, a chapel without a roof, hidden in the hills. High up in the rocky hills near Myrina, you will find one of the most unique churches in all of Greece, Panagia Kakaviotissa. Built inside a natural cave and completely open to the sky, this tiny chapel is carved into the rock and surrounded by silence. There is no roof, no electricity, just peace. To get there, you will need to hike for about 20 to 30 minutes along a scenic trail, but the view and the energy are absolutely worth it. It's a kind of place where time feels like it stops. Lemnos isn't just about landscapes, it's a place where myth, history and mystery all blend together. And if you love ancient stories and sacred places, this is where the island truly shines. We start with Hephaestia, once the island's ancient capital. Named after the god Hephaestus, who according to mythology landed on Lemnos after falling from Mount Olympus, this city includes a 5th century BC theatre, temple ruins and remnants of daily life, all overlooking the sea. It's peaceful, atmospheric and surprisingly uncrowded. There is also an audio guide available so you can explore at your own pace and learn about the site as you go. Close by you will find the Sanctuary of the Kabirians, or Kaviria. This was one of the most important mystery cult sites in the ancient Aegean. The rituals held here were secret, known only to the initiated, and involved the chthonic gods called Kavirii, protectors of nature, fertility and the underworld. And just like Hephaestia, an audio guide is available here as well, helping you uncover the legends behind the rituals and ruins. And just below the site, hidden along the rocky coastline, is a place tied directly to the Homeric legend, the Cave of Philoctetes. According to myth, this is where the wounded hero Philoctetes was abandoned on his way to Troy. The cave is a bit challenging to reach. You will need to hike and climb a bit. But if you wear your swimsuit, you can even swim inside the cave. It is magical. Next, we travel even further back in time. Just across the island sits Polyochni, a Neolithic and Bronze Age city older even than Troy. You will walk through ancient streets, stone houses and even a primitive parliament building. It's proof that an organized life and governance existed here over 4,000 years ago. But Lemnos isn't only tied to ancient myths and prehistoric cities. It also played a quiet but powerful role in more recent history. Let's take a brief look at the island's connection to World War I and the ANZAC legacy. During World War I, Lemnos played a vital and often forgotten role in the Gallipoli campaign. The island became a base for ANZAC troops, with military hospitals set up near Moudros to treat wounded soldiers. One of the most notable spots is a Victorian-era mansion in Portianou village, where Winston Churchill is said to have stayed during his visit to oversee the campaign. You can also visit the ANZAC military cemeteries in Moudros and Portianou, where hundreds of Australian and New Zealand soldiers are buried. Beyond its beaches and ancient sites, Lemnos is full of charming villages, each with its own stories, legends and characters. If you want to experience the real soul of the island, this is where you will find it. Let's start with Kondias, one of the prettiest and most vibrant villages. Wander through stone-built houses, blooming courtyards and narrow alleys. You will also see restored windmills above the village, which now function as unique guest houses. They are one of the most photogenic spots on the island. Nearby in Koutali, don't miss the stone pyramid monument on Cape Punta, a cenotaph built by exiled Cossacks in 1920 to honor their fallen. In the small village of Kotsinas, you will find a statue of Marula, a local heroine who fought the Ottomans in the 15th century. The statue stands above the sea, sword raised high, one of the island's most iconic symbols of resistance. But Kotsinas is also a charming fishing port with a few seaside tavernas where you can enjoy fresh fish right by the water. It's a great spot to stop for lunch after exploring the northern coast. Don't miss Romanou, a peaceful inland village with traditional architecture, sleepy charm and a slower rhythm of life. It also happens to be my family's village, so I've spent many summers here. Above the village you will see a row of old windmills, now standing silently on the hill, a reminder of Lemnos' agricultural past. And of course there is Moudros, once a major port and still one of the largest villages on the island. Full of naval history, a lovely seaside promenade and nearby wetlands. It's a perfect blend of nature, tradition and historical significance. Alright, let's wrap up with a few quick tips. Just the kind of things I always tell friends when they ask me about Lemnos. First off, how to get here. The easiest way is by plane. There are direct flights from Athens and Thessaloniki, and in summer, even from some European capitals. Yes, there are ferries from Lavrio port in Athens too, but unless you really love long boat rides, I recommend flying. If you are visiting from northern Greece, you can take the ferry from Thessaloniki or Kavala. Once you arrive, you will definitely need a car. Lemnos is a big island and public transport is super limited, especially if you want to explore the hidden beaches, archaeological sites or small villages inland. So book your car early, especially if you're visiting in July or August. As for the best time to visit, I personally love June and September. The weather is perfect, the sea is warm and the island is still quiet. Even in August, Lemnos never feels overcrowded like other islands, but shoulder season is just magical. Finally, don't leave without tasting the local treasures: Melichlolo cheese, Flomaria pasta, Lemnian wine and of course Lemnos honey. And that's it, your full guide to Lemnos, from someone who have spent almost every summer here. This island might not be as famous as Santorini or Mykonos, and honestly, I hope it stays that way. Because what makes Lemnos special isn't just the beaches or the history, it's the quiet moments, the untold stories and the feeling that you have discovered something truly yours. I hope you found my video helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Greece travel tips. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!